everyone for today's podcast. I'm Ariba, founder of Pages of Pandora, and today I'm going to host this podcast. So today's guest is someone who has been turning his daily reflections into powerful lesson for modern life. He's writer, content creator, and the author of Thoughts of Teenager, a book that dives deep into the growth, resilience, and journey from boyhood to manhood. He also runs weekly newsletter called Deep Dive, creates Ting Talk, and shares wisdom drawn from both Mahabharata as well as Stoic philosophy. And here's a twist. While he's building his creative mission, he's also working as procurement engineer in Saudi Arabia. So please welcome Ajaynath. So would you like to add anything to this?
So thank you for this warm welcome. And first of all, this is my first podcast. I used to listen to so many podcasts, but it's been the first time I'm in a podcast, so I'm a little bit excited. So thank you for your warm welcome.
All right. So since your book is titled as Thoughts of Teenagers, so I'm really curious to know that how did you manage to gather all of this wisdom from philosophy, psychology, and even ancient texts at such a young age? Because when I think about myself at that age, I was probably just busy chilling with friends and cramming for exams. So how did you gather that?
Years of isolation.
Okay.
Yes, during the age of 90, I started reading books. In the very beginning, it was fiction,
Yeah.
stories, and I was also working in movies as an assistant director, actor, and a model. And during 2022, from my college days, I started reading non-fiction books. In the very beginning, it was the books of Robin Sharma. Then I turned into philosophy, Stoic philosophy by Ryan Holiday. And there are so many modern philosophers like Mark Manson, Robert Greene, and I still remember those days. I was just spending majority of my time with books only, because pre 2022 I had so many difficulties in my life. At that time, I realized that I had to learn about myself. In the very beginning, I completely lost my body. Back to back injuries on my body, on my right shoulder, on my right leg. I was in bed 4 months. Then I affected by food poison, which eventually affected my exams also. And I was so weakly performing in my semester exams, and I wasn't able to attend some of them. And then when I came back, I had a relationship that broke up, that affected also my friendship, overall my mental health with my family, my friends, with the relation with my teachers also my extracurricular activities. So that was a time of struggling.
Yeah.
So I decided one thing, I have to keep a low profile. So those days I was spending majority of my time in my hostel room, just doing my own stuff. I was practicing karate, letting my thoughts, reading books, practicing meditation. The total isolation that turned into wisdom. So at that time, the only companion was book, audiobook, podcast. So that's how the wisdom began. So I deeply dive into my own problems. That was the beginning of learning about human psychology, about human behavior. The books of Robert Greene that helped me a lot. And I realized that I have to learn the art of emotional intelligence. So that's why I started reading Stoicism, books on Stoicism. So Ryan Holiday, one of the Stoic philosopher, one of the modern Stoic philosopher. I deeply dive into his books like Ego is the Enemy, Obstacle is the Way. And the one thing I realized was a majority of the things that I read in these non-fiction books are highly correlated with Mahabharata. They were mentioning Mahabharata directly in their books. So I still remember those days in my school days when my father asked me to read at least one page of Bhagavad Gita daily, but I wasn't able to read any of it because I wasn't able to understand it.
Yeah.
And when I completed my college and I came back from college to home, the very first thing that I did was I took Bhagavad Gita and I read 4 times. And that was a major stepstone in my writing journey. That I realized that many of the things that is written in the Western philosophy was highly related to Gita also. So psychology, philosophy, Gita, all I consumed during that period from 2022 to 2024, those 2 years of total isolation.
All right. So you have also mentioned journaling a lot in your journey. So at first it was just a place to vent your thoughts, or did you always treat it as a tool for growth?
For me, journaling was in my self improvement journey. Journaling was the last habit that I started.
Okay.
In the very beginning, I was focusing on my body because I completely lost my body. I was
Yeah.
practicing karate in my room. During my school days, I was going to karate and I was also participating in tournaments also. And the next thing was meditation, and the next thing was reading books, and also waking up early and all those stuff. The journaling was the last habit that I started. I started journaling only for writing down the ocean of thoughts into the paper because I knew that I used to share my problems and troubles, especially during those time I struggled the most with my friends, with my family. I was even going to therapies at that time, and I realized that even your friends, they do have another priorities in their life.
Yeah.
Their academics, their own stuff, their own job and placement, all they will leave after a time. Even a therapist, they will leave when the money and time is running out. And the only one person who is remaining is you. And the only one who can listen to you, that will be yourself only.
That's
So I
true.
realized that even if I share everything from my mind, there must be something remaining from my side only. And if a person who is going through the same pain or same trouble, they can understand majority of your problem, but they nobody in this world cannot copy and paste our suffering into their life. So I realized that writing down my own thoughts, my own troubles and problems into a paper, that will be a great relief for me. So that was the beginning of journaling. So that was the first step. The second step, I realized that there is a power for gratitude journaling
Yeah.
for what I have right now. So then I started gratitude journaling. And the third stage was I was writing down, I'm not supposed to worry every day. I have to do these things on next day. So till now, I use that kind of journaling, like a to-do list. You can
Yeah.
say that even in the busiest day, those to-do list, making a day before today, that makes me a productive day. So gratitude journaling, keeping a to-do list, writing down my own thoughts. That was the different stages of my journey. And I realized one thing, which is that really helped me. That really helped me a lot. Yeah, and I found that in my journaling, I was writing those lessons that I have learned all those days. And if I share with my friends, my parents, my teachers, and my beloved ones, that's going to help them,
Yeah.
especially when they are going through a suffering period. And that was the beginning of Ting Talks. I started in 2024 July when I came back. When I came back from Chennai, I was working as an application engineer in Chennai. When I came back from Chennai to Kerala,
Yeah.
I started sharing my own thoughts. That was the beginning of my writing journey in public. I started writing and sharing in the public. So in the beginning, it was healing, and then it turned into productivity. Now it's kind of my identity.
Okay. I have read your articles and I have seen that you draw from Mahabharata, Stoicism, and modern psychology. So it is a very unique mix. So how did you even discover these sources as a teenager, and what made you stick with them even till now?
As I told, stoicism came to in my life when I realized that I need some emotional intelligence. I need to learn it.
Yeah.
Stoicism is a practice. Stoicism is purely the way of living a happy life. That there are so many external events happening in our life, but only few things we can only control. We cannot control the weather. We cannot control what is happening in another person's home, another country, another continent. We cannot control so many other things, but
Yeah.
we can control only a few things: our words, our action, our even thoughts also we can't control. The way we respond to our thoughts, that's the only thing we can control. So I realized that by learning stoicism, we can identify what are the things we can really control, and only we have to worry about the controllables. And I realized that in stoicism and in Mahabharata, as you told. So as I told you, I when I started reading about Stoicism and the books of Robert Greene,
Yeah.
Ryan Holiday, Mark Manson, I found that they're also referring Mahabharata and the characters in their book. So, as a typical Hindu boy.
Okay.
I used to take religion as a kind of a. I am not that much religious, but I'm a spiritual person. And I found that Bhagavad Gita was never been religious; it is spiritual. And when I read it 4 times, I realized that majority of the content in Stoicism and as well as in Bhagavad Gita, both are the same. We can find justice, wisdom, forgiveness, patience in Stoicism. At the same time, in Bhagavad Gita, Satya, Dharma, Moksha,
Yeah.
Bhakti, majority of the content are same. The only difference is all about the time, in which the Stoicism in the Western philosophy, the time is linear. It is not like a cyclical or anything like time is only in the progressive mode. But in Gita and in Mahabharata, time is a loop. It is cyclical. Like in Mahabharata, Lord Krishna says that every time the time is going to happen like kalpas. Each kalpa means 4 yuga, Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. And after each kalpa, it happens again. So in Stoicism, they only believe that time is in a forward manner, but in Hindu philosophy or in Gita, it is termed as a kalpa. That was the only difference that I found. And in human psychology, it was Robert Greene.
Hmm.
Actually, Robert Greene's books on 40 Laws of Power, Mastery, and The Art of Seduction, all those books are related to the human behavior. Like, there is a power game in each and every area, in your office, in your college, in your classroom, even in our home. We can see that the power game. Power game, politics. So you have to analyze the people's character and we have to treat them accordingly. We cannot treat everyone in the same way. If you always keep like a rigid character while dealing with each and every people, the probability that you will be hated, you will be bullied, you will be betrayed is most. So you have to identify the psychology of others the very beginning. How to deal with those persons so that I can do my stuff, so that I can do this stuff. The people says that it is a kind of a toxic philosophy written by Robert Greene, but I think that's a necessary art of learning others' mind also.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Robert Greene, as well as there is another podcast named Huberman Lab by Dr. Andrew Huberman. Actually, as I told you during 2022, I started listening to Andrew Huberman's podcast. So at that time, I was deeply focusing on trauma, PTSD, depression, anxiety, mood swings. So I came to know about so many terms like ADHD, dopamine levels,
Yeah.
and I also shifted so many of my habits to control the neurochemicals in my brain also. Like there are so many habits and activities that can deviate the dopamine levels in our body and mind also. So that is also keeps the well-being. Like that also change our mood. Even if there are so many tricks and hacks that can help us to create be in a huge amount of focus, improve productivity, and so Huberman as well as Robert Greene. Those are the two people who helped me to learn about human psychology. And I think it is learning about ourselves is necessary. Like in our school, in our college, or anywhere, they only teach us about the syllabus,
Yeah.
exams, and patterns. But that's good. That is necessary. But we have to learn about ourselves. And every day I used to keep a life cycle with me, like the things which is much more important for me, like my family, my friends, my relations, job, money, mission, growth, physical health, mental health, and sexual health. But all this stuff is not educated in a school or university.
Yeah.
That is the main drawback in our system. But we have to learn. We have to learn the fundamentals of this topic. So for that, we had to deeply dive into these books. So knowing about this stuff, like being a spiritually positive person or becoming healthy, keeping good quality relation. So all these fundamentals are teaching in this Stoic philosophy in Gita and in all this podcast. So actually, I simply did the single step of learning. learning the basics. So that's how I was deeply diving into all those.
So, do you think young people today underestimate how much they can learn from ancient wisdom today? Because now I think that most people are distracted towards social media and other destroying habits. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Um, Actually, today, as I told, I learned a little bit about dopamine and all.
Yeah,
Each and everything, even about our scrolling, eating junk food, watching porn, playing video games, they do have a dopamine loop,
yeah,
like cue, craving, response, and reward. So every activity that creates an instant pleasure or instant dopamine, we have to pay in the future. So we do have a base level of dopamine in our body. So there are some activities that triggers dopamine level into high. So that was a time we feel huge amount of pleasure. Like consuming junk food. While consuming junk food, we may feel, or consuming alcohol, we may feel, we may feel huge amount of dopamine rise. But after the consumption, we may feel drained or exhausted because that dopamine base level also goes down.
yeah,
But there are some activities like meditation, journaling, going to the gym, working out, where it is always painful in the beginning. But that will help us to keep the base level of dopamine level into a high level. So that is going to persist in our body for a long time. So the main thing is our young generation is always focused on instant gratification habits, the habits that is going to create instant dopamine in our body and mind. So that's why we are addicted to scrolling because every time, so even if I am working in my office when the work is at the peak, when I feel a huge amount of pressure, so there are some points I used to just look into social media and scroll, and I realized that that's only a stress coping mechanism of my body. So every time I take my smartphone, my brain feels okay, it's good, do it again. It's good, do it again. It's good, do it again. Even if there is nothing for me, my brain tells that do it again. But at the end of the day, I realize that this habit is draining my base level of dopamine. So that's why the young generation is addicted to those kind of habits. And regarding the ancient wisdom, I believe there are so many books,
yeah,
even so many libraries were burned out. They were completely vanished. And there was only a few ancient wisdom is remaining and a few people follows it. And if you want to improve yourself, if you want to improve yourself as a person in every area of your life, health, wealth, relation, and mental health, spiritual life, everything, the answer we are looking for is already written in somewhere,
yeah,
always. But is but I think it is already vanished at some point. Even in Bhagavad Gita also, the Lord Krishna says that actually I have already given this lesson to Manu, to Surya, to Manu, then to Manu, but it is already vanished. It is not passed to generation by generation. I think not only the lessons of Bhagavad Gita, there are so many other things also, like that haven't passed to generation. So, for any teenagers or any young generation watching this podcast, the only one habit that you can develop in these years is reading books.
yeah,
Even if you don't have any interest in keeping a physical copy, you can listen to audiobooks. Or you don't like the art of reading or any stuff like book, just type the name of any author in YouTube. You can find so many podcasts
yeah,
from that reason. So podcast is like anybody can talk about any topic for 30 seconds or 45 seconds in Instagram reel. But if a person who is going to talk about a topic for 2 hours, 3 hours straight, that person may be invested at least 20 or 25 years in that topic and he is giving that wisdom straight in 3 hours. So listen to them. You will learn a huge amount of knowledge. Like as I told, Human Man Lab. You will learn everything about your body, everything basically. And about philosophy, there is a podcast named Modern Wisdom. And about the technology and the modern living, you can find the Diary of a CEO podcast by Stephen Bartlett.
okay.
One second. Okay. Huh? ठीक है. Oh.
ये ये नहीं लगाने का, ये तो सॉल्व करेगा। ये नहीं लगाना है, किसी भी नहीं लगानी, फेंक दो, कचरा हो गया ये।
Okay.
ठीक है,
Okay.
ठीक है नहीं आएगा। अब
Yes, sir.
All right, so I wanted to ask that today we all want to achieve a better life, you know. So for that, the things that we are lacking is in consistency and discipline. So how you develop these two habits, like in your self improvement journey, how you were consistent and disciplined, because that's too difficult for a teenager right now because the world is very distracting.
Yeah, it is easy to become distracted these days, but easy to become productive also. Because just think about it. Most of the people spend their time just watching something,
Yeah,
consuming something, and competition is everywhere in exams, in like any job interviews, and but in the area of greatness, the competition is less. It
yeah,
is becoming less day by day because it needs huge amount of discipline and courage.
yeah,
So the bar is too low. The bar is too low to become great these days. So anybody who can read at least 3 page, at least one page every day, meditate for 3 minutes, move the exercise for 30 minutes, and talk with their parents or beloved ones for at least 10 minutes, they can keep a good quality mind. They can be
okay,
productive. So, in my case, during my school days, actually, during my school days, I was only focused on my academics, and I did had a bad habit, which was only studying during the night time. I used to go to bed by only 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and I used to wake up by noon.
okay,
And my father used to advise me that if I keep this habit, it is going to pay in the future. And I realized the negative effect during my
okay,
college days. So when I started improving myself, the very first thing that I fixed, which was my sleep. Sleep is the foundation of physical health, mental health, and performance. So if you want to become disciplined, people talks about morning routine. For me, rather than morning routine, the very much important thing is an evening routine. So evening routine is the foundation of physical health, mental health, and performance. Actually, your video was a bit stuck.
yeah. Your video was stuck too. I couldn't hear you.
Okay, okay. Now it's okay. Then.
Yeah, it's fine now. I can hear you.
Okay. So keeping a night routine, that was the basic of a discipline. If you can go to your bed by 9 p.m. every day, so in order to go to your bed by 9 p.m. every day, you have to first close your phone, your TV, and your laptop by at least 7 o'clock, so that you can eat well, eat clean, make your bed, and clean your desk and go and plan the next day also, so that you can go to the bed by 9 p.m. And during 2022, that was the first time I woke up by 5 o'clock by myself.
Okay, that's
And
great.
even, yes, yeah, yes, 2023, when I came back to home, my parents were shocked that I was the first person who was waking up early and going to the bed early.
Okay,
During my school days, I was just either I will be studying for 3 or 4 o'clock, I will be watching some football match, or I will be watching some movies when each and every person were asleep.
okay,
And 2023, when I came back to home, I was the one who was waking up early and going to bed early. And if you want to develop that discipline, start from the night.
yeah,
Go
that's
to
true.
bed early. Everyone knows the importance of 8 hours of sleep. But the thing is, when you go to bed and you plan your alarm and all, you can see 7.5 hours you are going to sleep, but you won't fall into a deep sleep. So our sleep can be divided into two category. The
Yeah,
first 4 hours it is a deep sleep, and the next 4 hours it is a REM sleep. REM sleep. So during the deep sleep, it's much more important for our physical health and mental health. Uh, REM sleep means random eye movement sleep.
yeah,
So during that period of time, we may have huge amount of dreams and stuff, and we have to keep a good quality deep sleep. and we won't be able to sleep by right after laying in the bed. It will take at least half an hour to get into deep sleep because due to temperature, when our body falls into low temperature, that is the point we will start getting into deep sleep. And also in the morning, just before waking up, if you are a person who is waking up 6 p.m. 6 a.m. daily, at 4 a.m. your body will be at the lower temperature point,
Yeah.
and your body will be increasing your temperature little by little, and by 6 a.m. your body will tell you just wake up because body temperature is increased. That's how you wake up. So you have to understand that. And when you fix your sleep, that is the beginning of your discipline. And the next thing is move your body.
Yeah.
If it is possible, do
We
it in
have to be
early in the
productive.
morning, at least. Yes, at least 13 minutes, whether it is a kind of a jogging, swimming, yoga, and I prefer always weightlifting early in the morning because when we wake up, the like ADHD, and there are so many other neurochemicals in our mind is at the peak. So that's why so many people advise us to take a sip of coffee
Yeah.
to reduce them. Go get some morning light so that we can control those neurochemicals and move your body. Then the best thing that you can do is stay away from your phone. You can write something, whatever you like, whether it is a gratitude journaling or whether it is your thoughts and all those stuff. Write something, read something, get cold shower. I always prefer cold shower because that helps to build your body
Yeah.
and gives a good mood. So the first 3 hours in your day, whether for an ideal day. So if you are a student or if you are a working professional, you must be running out of time. You won't be able to keep all those stuff. If you can fix the first 3 hours in your morning, that is the beginning of each and every discipline. And there are so many philosophical stuff like choosing the hard thing and doing it anyway. I think the hustle culture is not the right answer for creating a disciplined life. In order to create discipline, always start from a night routine, then turn into your body, fix your body.
Yeah.
So, eat clean, stay away from social media, even if possible, stay from news media, music, movies, because the dopamine, majority of our activities are interlinked between the base dopamine level in our body also. So whenever we get bored, whenever we get stressed, we will go to the social media and watch something. We will listen some sort of music. If you spend at least 3 weeks, at least or 1 week without movies, without music, without news, without any social media stuff, you will feel the change. You will feel interconnected with the people, the nature, and that will be the beginning of keeping a good quality base level of dopamine. And you will feel find yourself more productive also. So fix your body first. That is the beginning of each and every discipline.
Thank you for sharing that. I hope this will help a lot of readers. Even I'm going to follow that routine from tomorrow. And moving towards your book, so you have mentioned a chapter of enemies. So is having enemies a sign that we are truly living authentically, or just proof that we are disrupting others' comfort zone?
Don't be a rebel. Don't be a, don't create enemies intentionally.
Okay.
Like, don't be that kind of a sigma male stuff that you can see on the social media these days. Keep some good quality morals, values with you always and stick with them. And I'm sure that if you strictly follow the morals, the values with you, the probability that you are going to be hated
Yeah.
is most, especially among your office, among your friends, in your family, everywhere. If you are not a people pleaser,
Yeah.
you will be hated for sure. But the best reward is you will have a good quality self-esteem, that you knew that it is not right and you decided to never act accordingly. So the best reward is the self-image that you are creating in your mind. So creating enemies intentionally, that is not appreciable at all. But if you have to stick with the truth, stick
Okay.
with justice, and what is the right, not only for you, but the people around you, and the probability that the people will look like you an alien, the people will misbehave with you is more. So you will learn a lot of lesson from it. And especially I think during my college days in my family, I think in my family my brother is a little bit a quiet guy. He's a calm guy. He never argue with his person. But actually I'm not that type of a person.
Okay.
I used to ask my parents and even question my parents. This is not right. This is that is not fair. But I think that also helped me to identify what are my mistakes and check about another person's point of view. Actually, the healthy kind of argument and giving suggestions is always good for our personality development also. Being genuine and authentic with
Okay.
yourself, that always helps to improve your self-image and self-esteem, and that is the biggest asset that you can develop for yourself.
So, if some teenager or any young person is dealing with hatred right now, so how they can overcome that and how it help you as well in your journey, because you said you have been hated by
Mhm.
many people in your journey.
So conservative criticism is good.
Okay.
If someone is saying anything about you, I'm not saying that you are supposed to completely ignore them. Just listen. What are they saying? If they are saying the right thing, that you have made any mistake, that you are not doing the good thing, then you are not supposed to argue with them. They are right. And if they are saying something wrong, that doesn't make any sense, that is trying to put you down and trying to insult you, ignore. That is the best thing that you can do.
Yeah.
And you are not supposed to be emotional at that time, especially during our teenage time. We will take it too personal, we will take it too emotional, and we will create some kind of dramas out of emotion. Learn to control yourself. It is hard, it is very hard when especially when you are in an environment where you are bullied, where you are insulted. There will be a peak of anger, frustration, and all. So at that time you have to remind yourself, which is you are in the situation and you have to control. If not, when you are out of control due to your emotions, the people will control you, they will mock you. And
Yeah.
the main thing is, out of frustration, if you do anything, the only one who is going to suffer in the future is only you. That suffering is called regret. Even if you have done something out of anger, frustration, or based on other people's judgment, even if you do something, you can put some sort of justification for that. He said that thing, she said that thing, and I did out of my control, out of my anger and everything. But in future, you'll feel a huge amount of regret.
Okay.
Especially for teenagers, that is the time period. There are so many hormonal changes happens in our body also, and realize the fact that you are going through a period when your body is also trying to learn and adapt and try to control yourself.
Okay.
Learn it, master it. It is very hard, but it is necessary.
Yeah, that's true. So, what is a common mistake that teenagers make when it comes to self improvement?
Mm, don't overly consume the stuffs in social media, the social media self improvement thing.
Yeah.
Just there are hundreds of thousands of habits in self improvement. Okay, start with what is best for you. In my case, I started from body. So I used to work out when I was practicing karate during my school days, and for me, I love it. And
Okay.
even if during these days also, I used to start my day by going to the gym early in the morning. So if you are a person who reads a lot, who loves books, who loves journaling and all the stuff, start with a habit that you love the most.
Yeah.
And in the self improvement journey, you have to cut a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to hate them. You have to say a temporary goodbye from them, because you are committing yourself to become a better person. So your habits will change, your friend circle will change, your routine will change, the way you look the society, your family, friends, everything will change. You can only see
Yeah.
growth, how to grow, how to make progress. At that time, the probability that you will become alone, that's sure. But never try to shake your hands with all those previous friends again. Because when you set your goals, when you set your habits into high level, you have to keep the circle of friends around you who meets the same level. And it's also hard to find that. You can find so many people in social media and online, but try to keep someone, or try to keep a good quality friend who also keep the same self-improvement journey as you.
Yeah.
Because if you totally fall into that loneliness, you may feel bored. Because in the self-improvement journey, in order to see some sort of result in your body, in your mind, or in your activities, or any kind of productivity stuff, it will take years.
Yeah.
And it is seasonal. Like when you reach into that goal, or when you reach into that mission, or what you want by self-improvement, you can get that previous friends and all those stuff. But you realize that during that time period, it is going to be a little bit alone. So keep some good quality friends. And the next common mistake that the young teenagers may do, that is, whenever we fall into some sort of routine or some sort of habit loop, there must be some days we will missing it.
Yeah.
Like if you are suffering from some sort of disease like diarrhea and all, so you will be in bed for at least a week. And there are so many people who will be like, thinking about, oh, actually I didn't go to gym these days, I didn't meditate. Actually, that's your ego. You have to accept the fact that this is only a few days, like 3 or 2 days. You will get back to your routine as early as possible.
Yeah.
Like, look into the calendar. Take 50 days or 40 days in a row and check out how many days you meditated, or how many days you read a book, how many days you went to the gym. There must be some missing days. Out of 50 days, you must be doing the stuff at least for 40 or 45 days. That's a win.
Okay.
And every habit that compounds. It doesn't make any sense in 3 months or 6 months. It makes sense only in decades. It will take years, and
Yeah.
you have to accept that. Don't rush. Focus on what you are doing and try to improve every day, each and every day, bit by bit. And the main thing is, find someone who always have the same mindset. Otherwise, you will feel a huge amount of loneliness.
Yeah, that is very important. So, if you can give one advice to young aspiring writers, so what would it be? Because writing is itself a difficult task.
Mm, Start with what you love, even if it is a fiction, non-fiction, poems, or whatever it is. I still remember I started from screenwriting in
Yeah.
theater, in short films. Now I'm writing philosophy, thoughts, and all this stuff. Don't copy anyone. Just start writing what's in your mind. Because when you try to copy someone, the competition increases. If you are doing something that someone else is doing the same, the probability that you are building equal and opposite of one is huge. So don't be like that. Write what you truly feel. Be genuine and authentic. Even if no one is appreciating you, no one is watching you, no one is even reading it, just do it. Try to improve, and it will take years, but every day you will improve the quality by yourself. So the best thing that you can do is, don't take any advice, don't copy any models, or don't try to cope with any kind of routine or any kind of stuff. Just write whatever you want, whenever you want. That's it.
Okay. So, we are almost at the end of this podcast. So, thank you so much for sharing all the answers and your journey. So, would you like to speak about anything else or any advice that you can give to the viewers?
The only advice that I can give to my young friends is, I started this journey at my end of my teenage
Yeah.
and in my early 20s. So, in your 20s, you're free. I mean, you do have some responsibility like studies, exam, career, job, and all those stuff. But when you enter into your 30s or 40s, your body may not be supporting you. You must have some commitments that you can't even remove. So in your 20s, work on yourself and never feel ashamed for that. Stop thinking about what others are going to think about you, what others are going to judge about you. When I started Ting Talks, in the very beginning, I got so many appreciation that I am coming to a big platform and sharing all those stuff. And then the same people start questioning it. Why are you doing this? What is the main purpose behind it? And even there are so many people who try to criticize this law of it. But
Yeah.
when I continued that writing over a year, it became a book that compounds. So work on yourself and your attendees. That would be the only advice.
Okay, thank you so much. That would be very helpful. So, thank you everyone for watching this podcast. And you can find the book Thoughts of Teenager. It's available on Amazon. You can download the Kindle or you can buy the paperback copy as well. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.